Hello, wealth creators, and welcome to another episode of The Wealth Within Us. Today, I'm here with Tah Groen, and she is a 25-year yoga teacher, a certified yoga instructor. She helps other people become instructors, and she also does human body design. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and let them know who you are.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here, Michelle. This is such a great opportunity to share human design. And we just did your reading recently.
Yes.
So we're
And
gonna
I loved it. And that's why I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to you. I have to share this with other people because it was so amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Yes, human design has been in my life since 2006.
Okay.
It has taken off in the last 3 years. So you probably have heard somebody talk about human design recently because it is exploding on Instagram, on Facebook. There's tons of people doing analyzing charts now. And am happy to say that I was right at the beginning. I was right at the beginning of the training with Linda Bunnell, who has written the Bible pretty much of human design with the founder Ra Uru. So Linda started the International Human Design School after after my training, and this is
Hmm.
the beautiful platform where all of the analysts are getting trained, International Human Design School. So yeah, so I've been involved with human design since 2006, and now just starting to really explore the deconditioning process
Hmm.
for people to really discover who they are. And I think you felt that looking at your chart. You
I
felt like,
did.
my gosh, this is me,
Yeah,
and
it
this
was
is
like these
my
light
energy.
bulbs kind of kept going off. And even as you and I were going through it, I was like, oh, that's why this and that's why that. So I found it fascinating and so beneficial. And what's even so great about it is you don't have to be there in person. You can do this with anybody anywhere.
Right, virtually, you mean? Is that
Yes.
what you mean? Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
you can
So
virtually do it with anybody.
right. Versus my other lifelong career path, which is yoga. And I have to bring my students with me so that I can do their, yeah. So a great contrast there for sure. Um, but what an incredible partnership to have the physical aspect. Ooh, I'm getting this powerful hit. The physical aspect of my yoga
Mm,
um, teaching, and then this ethereal
yes.
map that you have of energy, because this human design map means nothing unless you're sensitive to energy and the
Okay.
subtlety of how you assimilate, data from the outside, because there's all these white spaces in
Mm,
your chart that you're impacted by the outside environment. And then there's this color in your chart, which represents you, your true self,
mm,
and how you make an impact. So when we practice our whatever it may be, qigong, even jogging, any somatic experience like dance, yoga, meditation, when you practice all those things to create the inner landscape and awareness of energy, of the subtleties of energy, then the chart will make sense to you, right?
and it almost sounds like it's the merging or balancing of the spiritual, energetic, and the physical, because we aren't just physical beings.
Yeah.
Like there's this whole component of us that's energy, whether you're aware of it or not. So if you're just feeling this, I'm just in this body and this body is all that I am, like that's not the case. We are all energy, but yet we can't see it. So seeing this, it's almost like getting a glimpse into our energetic field, which is so cool.
Oh my gosh, this is perfect segue, don't you think, to see what we're talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
So here we
Now
go.
you can see what we're talking about.
Yes.
I'm
So this
gonna
is,
put on my readers.
yeah, you're getting the glasses on. That's
Oh yeah.
great.
I need to get up close because this is good stuff.
Yes. So this is Michelle's chart. And as I was sharing, all the white spaces are places where she gets impacted by others' energies. Okay. And all of the color, we can say, is her definition, who she is. She's born with this design. These are centers. So think of your head. I mean, this is a person, literally a body, from head down to the root. And so the color is representing who Michelle is. And that includes these hanging places, these colored places. And all the white streaming around the design, that is not who she is. She gets impacted and amplifies energy in the white. And then she has defined, I keep saying defined, but like consistent, reliable energy that is sort of a narrow way of being versus infinite way of being, right? So
Yep.
all right, so if we go to infinite, how infinite are the possibilities in your mind? This is being impacted by all thoughts. Pretty much a being who can pick up thoughts telepathically through an open head right at the top. And maybe you're thinking about so many things and not realizing that maybe some of those things don't matter to the decision-making process that you're going to rely on. And we call it our strategy to respond. So yeah, here's a mini reading. So manifesting generator force right here. This is like Shakti. This is like fuel. It's a battery. That's why you're called a generator. And so this strong battery is something that is vital and alive. So when we say for a generator, the strategy is to respond, what are you responding to? You're responding to that inner spark, that inner joy. You know, what is that woman, the Japanese woman, when you hold something and does it spark joy?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect
Yeah.
example.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
hold.
so for someone like me that has an open top center up there on the top, I have to be very discerning in what I listen to, who I surround myself, what I watch on television, what news I watch. So it almost sounds like all these things, who I listen to, what I read. So that will have an impact on me that could take over if I'm not connected into like my gut down there.
Absolutely. You got it. I'm so impressed. That's
I've been thinking about this for the last week because I was so excited.
wow. That's amazing. And so what is the aha for us is that our mind wants something to grasp onto, wants to think, wants to really analyze. And so human design does that for us. It gives us something to analyze. It gives us a map that really is a formula, a solution, because that's what we want. It's all mind stuff, right? This is mind. And yet we talk about getting out of the mind and going into the body. Yet when we talk about the system is all mind, right? All cognitive, intellectual crap. It's like mental, what do they call it? Masturbation? Mental, right? That's
Yeah.
what this is. But
So let me ask a question. So those spaces that are open, are they kind of like, so I have that number where the 37 is down there, the emotional part, I believe. So this is kind of empty for me. So if this is your human design, this is my human design. am I seeking, is it like I have this void and I'm seeking to fill it, but fill it in the right ways? Like, how does what I does that is, am I understanding that correctly?
So there's no void. It's so interesting. Being
Okay.
not a void. There,
Okay.
I,
Like, because I'm looking at it like, is this something I need to fill? Like, is this something that I'm seeking? Because if I have these other things and these are the other things that aren't so solid yet, am I consistently seeking it unconsciously?
yes. So it's the latter that doesn't go away. This is your chart. It stays, this map stays concrete for you your entire life.
Okay.
And you have these open spaces. It doesn't mean you're lacking. It doesn't mean you need to fill them up. Okay. Because that's
Okay.
the question we get. Oh, I wish I had that. I wish I was filled in over there. You know, that's
Yes.
not what it's about. It's about the genetic continuity of the wholeness of this chart and how it is a masterful plan that works in synergy. Does
Mm,
that make sense?
I think so. Yes.
So it all ties together in a unique way that makes you perfect just the way you are. Is that a better way of putting it?
I think so, because I think once we know this, we can see where our vulnerabilities are, we can see where our strengths are, and then we can use our strengths to overcome our vulnerabilities. So is the goal ever to come back in another life with this whole thing filled? Like what is the goal?
Oh, I love it. The goal is to correctly, by honoring the strategy and your inner authority, by honoring these ways of being in your body mechanics, the goal is to be in the right place, to feel that satisfaction of being in the right place, meeting the right people, connecting your physical body on a geometry, sacred geometry. We all know about how significant everything around us is
Mhm.
in this matrix, and that we are in literally a simulation, and that there is sacred geometry in this world, right?
Yes.
So our body is part of that. And because our body has precedence over the mind,
Mm,
it does, because we are a material being, we are matter, we are solid, and we are in a physical body that has to deal with this zero place. You know, this is the basic level, and then we move all the way up to like infinite possibilities. That's why this is so beautiful. Infinite possibilities of spiritual consciousness, right?
okay.
And so we are in the zero place. Are we going to master this place? Yes, we want to master this place so that we can create our reality the way we want, in absolute, as a generator, in absolute satisfaction, and not have, which is the not self theme here,
Mhm.
not what you truly are, not have that frustration.
Yeah.
Because why? We're moving our body. The design side is red, it's all the physical. We're moving our body in the right trajectory or the right path to meet the right people, places, and things. That's the ultimate goal.
So
And then,
when we're in alignment with our strategy, which mine is to respond. So when I'm responding from that place of gut, the place of truth, that knowing, when I'm responding that way, I feel satisfied. And when I'm not behaving in that way, I get frustrated.
yeah, it's that simple, so
Yeah.
basic.
And
I
that's
love it.
exactly me. That's so true. I get frustrated like when things aren't going my way, or when I'm trying to force, like when I'm trying to force that square peg into a round hole.
Right. And then you can backtrack and you can go, what mind chatter was happening? What was
Mhm.
talking to me? Where was I weighing the pros and the cons, and I decided to move from my mind, right? Because
Mhm.
this is about thinking about things that don't matter, the top, the head. So if you have an open head, there's a lot going on, and maybe you're thinking about things that are not relevant to your strategy, which is
Yeah.
responding from the body.
And I'm an
Okay.
overthinker, so that completely makes sense. I overthink pretty much everything.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. This is very much a general statement, even though there's such complexities within this chart, right? All of these gates have meaning. These are gates that match up to uh, these centers. So even though this is a general statement about anybody with an open head and ajna, it feels obviously different in your
Mm.
body because of all the other stuff in the chart, all the genetic continuity. So then we move down to this G center, open G center. This one is about love and direction. You know, am I in the right place, doing the right thing? Your mind's going to be thinking, I'm not sure if this is the right path or the right direction for me, because you'll be questioning why, because this is white and you get impacted by others and it's inconsistent, unreliable energy for you. It goes,
Mm.
fluctuates, fluidity. So this is fluid me, all of these white spaces, fluid me, and the place where you gain your wisdom. This is where you go to school, you know? And then
Okay.
all of the color is like, whoa, that is my decision making.
Yeah.
This is
Like my
reliable,
strengths.
consistent. Yeah. So yeah, and then let's go to the open ego. This is wanting to prove to yourself and to others that you can do it, you can get it done. It's all about willpower and self-worth, you know?
Mm.
And so yeah, you can be the willful one in the room. Absolutely. Why? Because you're amplifying willpower. Okay. So it can get loud in the mind and going, oh, give me the plan. I'm going to stick to that plan and I'm going to
Yes.
stay to my goals and stay true to what I had promised everybody.
Yeah,
Right?
and on the opposite side, what I've learned is that I can visually look around me from the head and see things that I'm thinking I'm supposed to be, or this is what this looks like, and then it not being true, where you said it was like the self-worth and all that. I was like, well, that's, so then that can be also a trip up for me as well. And those are
Yeah.
the things, what I find so fascinating is that I know now to pay more attention as to the chatter that sort of disrupts my ego either too far in one direction, like I'm too overconfident, or in the other direction where I'm not confident enough, or I take on these negative self thoughts and those types of things.
Yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because again, we're talking
Mm-hmm.
general here. And so anybody with that open ego, that applies. What you
Yeah.
just said applies. It's very significant. Just what you said, it's helpful for others who are looking at their chart and who have an open ego. You're so on point. You can go to this side or to that side. And where is that alignment? And
Yeah,
that's the beauty.
and when I'm not aligned, I feel frustration, and when I am, I'm deeply satisfied. And I think why this is so important for people
Yeah.
to get this done, to have human design done, is we kind of all know ourselves, but not, it's like here's like this is what it is now. It's right in front of you. It makes this sort of energetic, ethereal stuff that we can't see much more tangible to our human,
Cognitive
solid matter
ability. Yes,
body.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's again back to the mental masturbation. I
Yep.
tell you, this is beautiful. And we want that. We want to understand why. And so this is giving us that map of why. And it
Yeah,
resonates as truth. You can feel
it
it. You can
does.
feel
You
it.
can. And
You
what's so
know,
beautiful is that we're not all the same. So we've all got to play off each other's strengths and weaknesses and help each other. Like if I know someone else that suffers maybe with self-worth and stuff, I can relate to them because I know how they feel. And that's probably why you're like, oh, I totally know how you feel. And this is probably where empathy comes from. Like you have an open center in this area just as I do. So let's help each other.
oh my gosh, that is beautiful. The way we come together in aura
Mhm.
to aura is powerful. And
Yes.
there, yeah. So if you were to compare, do us coming together right now, I
Yeah.
am seeing you. I am giving you a stronger voice. I have 45 to 21, which
Mm.
is defining this ego. So giving you, you're amplifying and taking on that empowerment by just being with me. Isn't
Yeah,
that a
that's
beautiful thing?
amazing.
That's a beautiful thing. And
Uh-huh. And it
and then,
shows how we really truly are all connected. Like
yes,
it's the like we really are all connected. And right here is we're showing how we are.
yeah. Here, let me get my chart.
Okay.
So there's that channel I was talking about,
Mm,
4521. So I'm
okay.
here empowering your voice as a teacher. This is a very strong wanting to help society, wanting to bring betterment and uplift society in a way that is through the voice I, you know. I've done this, I have this, I want this, right?
Yeah.
And so it goes to the willpower. And so there you go. So you're feeling some of that willpower and that voice through the throat chakra to come out into the world. All right, so that's what I give you. What
Mhm.
about what you give me? Oh my gosh, this root center of mine, remember how your head was
Yes,
open?
we're like flipped.
Yes, you're grounding me, allowing me to take my time, allowing me to be solid and centered in this world of ours and not feel
Mm.
so frantic and ungrounded, helping me guide me on what's first, next, and the sequential rhythm of timing of things. Because what happens with an open root is you feel scattered and rushed and want to get things done because there's so much pressure. And for me, there's no gates here. So sometimes I don't know what to do first or
Mm.
what is the correct order of things. So
Okay.
ground me in that way. So it's really helpful.
Yeah, and I see how we all help each other. When you show it this way, you see how we really can help each other and benefit from each other. And that's why, going to networking meetings, if you're growing a business or being around friends and family and all of that stuff is why we feel so much joy. And when we're around people that we just don't feel good around, it's almost like you can't put a finger on it, but you're like, yeah, something felt off to me about that. Or even when a new person comes into the group, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I feel like I've known them my whole life. And then other people, I don't know what it was, but something was feeling off for me.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And then the more resonance of alignment that you are, the more that you're in satisfaction, right?
Mhm.
You're giving that out to the world. So, yes, you're living your true self authentically, right? Imagine if your not self theme was more precedented, like you're in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, and you're just pushing through, you're so frustrated, and all of a sudden, everybody around you is reflecting that frustration. Well, especially a chart that is a projector. Okay, I just want to show you what that looks like. So imagine this being
Uh-huh.
coming in contact with you, who's defined here, right? And they're all of a sudden feeling frustrated. Where do you think their frustration is coming from? It's
Yeah.
coming from
From
Michelle.
I'm frustrating you.
Yes, you would be doing your not self theme of frustration. And that other being who has an open space right here called a projector, a manifester, or a reflector, because there's three other types who
Okay.
have this open, they would be bombarded because this is again a generative force on the planet, the strongest building creative momentum that we have on this earth is a generator.
Okay.
70% of the planet are generators.
Mm.
So generators running in frustration creates the entire planet running in frustration.
Wow.
Generators in their true signature of satisfaction, the whole planet will be running in satisfaction.
Oh.
Isn't that
See,
wild?
everybody needs one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see this map and to know whether, especially as a mother, whether you
Mm.
have one of these guys, one of these projector children, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, if you're a generator mom out there with a projector child and you think your projector is acting out in frustration and you know, whatever, or bitterness for not being recognized, but no, basically amplified, they're amplifying that generator mom.
Mm,
And so not knowing when enough is enough, and they're
yeah.
incredibly vulnerable. So yeah, projectors are only 20% of the planet.
So it's almost like validating when, especially if you're a parent, like you're like, I don't know, me and that kid, we just clashed. Me and my one child, we butt heads. It almost sounds like this is where it comes from.
Oh yes. Yes, I've been doing this a while, and you look at charts coming together and you know exactly where the conflicts are.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then you
Or
also
the
know from an empowering standpoint, now you know where they're coming from and how to cohesively work together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
For you, example again of how you're helping me. You're helping get my thoughts out because I have a very strong, defined head and ajna, and you're bridging my split. So when there's
Okay.
energies that are connecting that help bring cohesiveness down, because here, let me just for a visual, because people probably can't understand. So see that white space where I am?
Yes.
I have a lot going on in my head and ajna. Really strong, narrow, consistent way, stubborn, I would say, way of thinking. And it's not for my decision making, it's for outer authority, it's to help others.
Mhm.
And so it gets stuck because there's no stream of energy here, right? And so we go back to your chart, Michelle, and what do we see? You see a beautiful connection here.
Okay.
This helps me. I mean, this is so emotional for me. I feel the tingles. This is helping me articulate what I need to articulate from my mind, from my head, and my ajna.
Oh, anytime. I would love to help you anytime.
Yeah. So that's how we come together. So imagine a mom knowing this, you know, and yeah, all the ins and outs of how charts dynamically come together with ease and flow
Yeah.
or conflict.
Yeah. And when I first saw this and you started explaining it to me, something inside me was like, this is so truth. Like I felt the truth just inside of me to know that this is not hocus pocus or anything like that. Like this is solid.
Yeah, absolutely solid. Yeah, you can feel it in your
Mhm.
sacral. It's the tingling. It's like
Yes.
sacral response. I know this is the truth. This is the true me, and allowing the body to have um, a solid, strong nervous system. Again, back to the yoga meditation,
Mhm.
releasing stress, somatic experiences, getting the trauma release, you know, crying, making sure the body is massaged, you know, all those tools, those self tools, so that you can truly hear the truth that you're talking about.
So I have a question too, somewhat similar. So you know how like when we feel like we have stuck energy, and you're like, oh, I have this block, I have this stuck energy. How does this apply to where I feel that I have stuck energy, thoughts and feelings out, when you're running on that subconscious autopilot and you're just like, I just need to release the stuck energy so I can flow and all this other stuff that I was just saying. So how do we connect those two pieces together?
That is a beautiful question for you specifically because you have this channel
Mhm.
360 down at the bottom. And I think we talked about this, the channel of mutation. This is what you're just talking about.
Okay.
A design of energy which initiates and fluctuates. What is that
Okay.
fluctuation? That's that stuckness that you're talking about. That's that
Okay.
quiet place where there's no energy flowing.
Mhm.
Why? Because this channel of mutation is on a pulse. So are you going to embrace the quiet times? Is that kind of what you're talking about? The quiet stuck times where there's no movement?
Yeah, or even like I've been to energy workers and it almost seems like you'll have an energy session and you're like, oh my God, I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me.
All
Or
right.
you're doing it the opposite. You're like, I know I have some stuck energy in this spot, this situation, this emotion, this feeling.
Right. And so, open emotional being. Okay, let's describe what this means. We say non-emotional, right? But this person, you and 50% of the planet have this open emotional center. What are you doing? You're bringing in emotion to your body. Whatever's around you is like a wave. The wave comes in, and that a wave becomes a tidal wave. It
It
becomes
just knocks me over.
amplified emotion, right? So you're not non-emotional, you're just amplifying emotions. And so
Mm,
you look like the more emotional being, right? But when you step away, hopefully, and you're not taking in the trauma, um, you're neutral. But that doesn't happen all the time, of course, because we take on stuff and we hold it.
mhm.
And so that holding and that stuckness and that release probably would be um, here, don't you think?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, because sometimes you hold onto things consciously or subconsciously, and that's where that stuck energy comes.
Yeah. And the emotional center is a huge hotspot for all of us.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I've kind of only got one little connector coming out
Yeah.
of there. Yeah. Because I think as a cope, and I mean, I think sometimes this can help us with our coping mechanisms that aren't necessarily beneficial to our authentic self. I think years and years ago, I went through a long period in my life where I just shut down my emotions because I think I couldn't deal. So I was like, well, I'm
Right.
just going
And
to turn this off. And then I was like,
absolutely.
yeah, that's not
You know
good
what the
either.
the little tagline for this open center is? Avoiding confrontation and truth. So avoiding emotions so that I
Yes.
don't have to face them, right?
And that makes complete sense because I do
Yeah.
avoid confrontation. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So that's what that is. So
Ah,
then what do we go back to? We go back to strategy. All right. Are you truly listening to the truth within you? To the
yeah.
authentic truth within you?
And
Is
am
it
I
the right?
authentically responding to the
Yeah.
situation?
Yes. Instead of avoiding and numbing out and
Or
disembodied.
going the other way and having a flip out?
Oh
Because every
yeah.
once in a while I'll get a trigger, and I'm sure my family can tell you some pretty darn funny stories of my
Yeah.
occasional, like I'm usually calm, easygoing, something,
Yeah.
sometimes a little switch will flip, and I'm like not so calm and rational.
Absolutely, Michelle. This is really important for people to know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so too.
yeah, same thing. Holy camole. I have the same. So
Yep.
we have companionship here.
Yeah.
Companionship here. Absolutely. So yeah, this is a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
I think that's so, wow. That's just
Absolutely.
like so much information for people already. That's incredible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the bottom line is, so what do people need to get this done? What should they have at their ready? Because I want people calling you and getting this done.
Oh,
Like
I love it. Thank you.
everybody needs this. This is so eye-opening to help you realize who you truly are. And then when working in that, that's when you create the beautiful life, you create the wealth, whatever wealth means to you.
Yeah. And that wealth is that inner alignment, that inner joy, the
Hmm.
being comfortable in your own skin, being authentic with your
Yes,
words and your creativity. And to give that is abundance. That's the ultimate abundance.
it is. It is.
And
And this is just another amazing tool to help us achieve that.
yeah, it is. And while you were just saying, well, what do people need
Hmm.
got to share, where does data comes from? It comes from birth time. So as long as you have birth time, date, and location,
Hmm.
you can run a chart, and you can
All right.
actually
So
run a
three
free
things.
chart. Yeah, three things. Uh, Accurate birth time,
Mhm.
date and location. You can run a free chart on jovianarchive.com.
Okay. And I'll
And
put that in the link as well.
yeah, and if you want to get a full reading, you can come to my website, which is Tah Groen, TAHGROEN.com/human design, and get a foundational reading where we go
Mhm.
over the your type, whether you're a generator, a projector, a manifester, or a reflector. And then we'll go over strategy, and inner authority. There's ways to make decisions. And for you, Michelle, it was simple because we kept talking about the response mechanism,
Mhm.
and that is a direct sacral response. So it's
Yes.
one and the same. But if somebody, I just want to add this on, if somebody had the emotional center, which we were just talking about,
Yes.
defined, that would be their inner authority. And what does that
Ah,
mean? That means that they do not have direct access to that response mechanism. They have to
okay.
that emotional wave in order to make decisions. So there's a lot more waiting for a emotional being, for clarity, for that nervousness, for that chemistry, emotional
Mhm.
chemistry, to sort of be in a place of calm, no anxiety, no restlessness, that hope to pain, like thing that to sample decision making, whether you're on the high end of your wave or on the low end of your wave.
Mm.
So yeah, completely different ways of being, right? You and I are spontaneous. We can like
Yes.
go, oh, that feels great, I'm going to go there now.
Yeah.
And then you have a child, say, who's an emotional being, and you're saying,
Mhm.
hey, we're leaving right now, we're going outside. What? I'm not quite ready. You
Yeah.
didn't
I'm
give them
not
that
ready. I
transition
need to
time.
prepare.
Yeah, because of the emotional wave. Yeah. So
So it's
I'm
beautiful because we not only understand ourselves, but it helps us understand each other as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I think it's worth it to do the chart yourself for free and then go to Tah and have her go over it with you. Because I think just looking at it, it is a little confusing. So someone like you who has done this for so long, since 2006, like you know what you're doing and can help people guide through this quicker than them trying to wade through it themselves. So I do highly recommend that you seek out Tah to have your human design done. And I will put all the information in the description so you can get in touch with her. And I know that you'll be back, right?
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to chat with you more about spirituality,
Yes.
alignment, frequency,
Oh,
vibration.
yes.
Oh, that would be incredible. I'd love to chat about that.
Absolutely. So we'll book our calendars and we know that you will be back. Well, I appreciate so much your time. I know that you a busy lady, but I just want to thank you again and to thank everybody for watching. Pay attention to the description. Everything will be there. And I will see you next time on The Wealth Within Us.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. Love
Thank you
being
so
here.
much.
Good. Namaste.
Namaste.